When you're drafting your fantasy team, do you ever wish you could handpick the best stars for your business team? If you're building your talent roster, you need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Don't spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates with the right skills when you can do it all with Indeed. Find top talent fast with Indeed's suite of powerful hiring tools like matching, assessments, and virtual interviews. Hate waiting? Indeed's U.S. data shows that over 80% of Indeed employers find quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment they sponsor a job. And something that I love about Indeed is that it makes hiring all in one place so easy because candidates you invite to apply through Instant Match are 3 times more likely to apply to your job than candidates who only see it in a search, according to U.S. Indeed data. So join over 3 million businesses worldwide using Indeed to hire great talent fast. Indeed knows that when you're growing your own business, you need to make every dollar count. That's why with Indeed, you only pay for quality applications that match your must-have job requirements. Visit Indeed.com/Blue Wire to start hiring now. Just go to Indeed.com/Blue Wire. That's Indeed.com/Blue Wire. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Good morning, White Sox fans. This is your Sox Machine White Sox wake-up call for Wednesday, April 12, 2023. I'm Josh Nelson. Last night, we hosted another watch party on Playback with our friends from the 108, and depending on when you got a chance to join the watch party, you either saw a lot of action or nothing. It was a pitching matchup between Pablo Lopez for the Minnesota Twins and Lance Lynn for the Chicago White Sox. We talked a lot about Lynn on Monday's podcast episode, about how his stuff has been underpowered and left-handed hitters were crushing him after 2 starts. Meanwhile, Lopez in his first 2 starts with the Minnesota Twins had only allowed 1 earned run. The White Sox had a tough test in front of them. The first inning started off really well for the White Sox. Andrew Benintendi, leading off for injured Tim Anderson, put together a good at-bat, driving Lopez's pitch count up with 9 pitches in that at-bat, and he lined a single to center field. Next was Luis Robert Jr., and he hit a soft chopper back to Lopez. Things got weird on the throw by Lopez as his sidearm tossed badly missed the mark wide. Robert was credited with an infield single, but the throwing error allowed him to advance to second base, and Benintendi moved up to third base. Next was Gavin Sheets, and he walked on 5 pitches. Suddenly, it's bases loaded, nobody out for Andrew Vaughn. For most teams, this is an ideal situation. For the White Sox, it's been quite underwhelming and arduous to score runs in this premium position. Off a Lopez sweeper that was located in the outside corner, Vaughn did an excellent job tracking the pitch and trusting his hands to do the work rather than overswing. He got the barrel on the ball and drove it down the left field line for a 2 RBI double, which immediately doubled the amount of runs Lopez had allowed on the season entering the evening. Now it's runners on second and third, nobody out, and an opportunity for the White Sox to tack even more runs on. Except, Yasmani Grandal struck out, Jake Berger grounded out to third base, Oscar Colas grounded out to first base. A missed opportunity. Nonetheless, Lance Lynn was given a cushion. A cushion that lasted 4 pitches. Donovan Solano singled to right field on the second pitch he saw, and on a really bad 86-mile-per-hour cutter, Byron Buxton hit an absolute no-doubter for his second home run of the season to tie the game. Good vibes dashed. In the second inning, Lynn hung a curveball, guess what, on the second pitch of the at-bat to Michael A. Taylor, who smashed it for his first home run of the season. The Minnesota Twins now lead 3-2. Everyone is concerned about the quality of stuff Lance Lynn is throwing. There's already 5 runs scored in the game, but quickly, Lopez and Lynn found their rhythm. Starting with Lynn, despite allowing the 2 home runs and a total of 7 hits on the night, he lasted 6 innings because he struck out 10 batters. From the third inning on, Lynn did a much better job of locating his pitches on the corners and started throwing each of them harder. He finished throwing 98 pitches, and his final line was a quality start of 6 innings, 7 hits allowed, 3 earned runs, no walks, and 10 strikeouts. It's just a shame he started the first 2 innings poorly. Meanwhile, Pablo Lopez was masterful after the first inning. Despite the White Sox forcing Lopez to throw 27 pitches in the first inning, Lopez made it into the 8th inning on 98 pitches. That's right. Lopez threw just 71 pitches over the next 6 2/3 innings against White Sox hitters who had a terrible time making contact off of Lopez's changeup and sweeper. Lopez finished the game retiring 23 straight batters, and his final line was 7 2/3 innings, 3 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. Or let me put it in another way. In the first inning, Lopez's line was 1 inning, 3 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. After the first inning, 6 2/3 innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, 9 strikeouts. Yeah, Lopez is good. We got a chance to see Kenyon Middleton make his White Sox debut, and it was very impressive. He struck out the side of the 7th inning and got Byron Buxton out to start the 8th inning. Jake Diekman replaced Middleton as Trevor Larnach, a left-hander, was batting. Naturally, Diekman walked the left-handed batter, but he was able to prevent any more damage done by the Twins. Twins closer Yohan Duran entered, who hadn't allowed a hit on the season, to close it out in the 9th inning. He's the guy who throws 103 with his four-seamer and a 101-mile-per-hour splitter. Just electric stuff. Well, to start the 9th inning against Luis Robert, Duran threw a first-pitch breaking ball, and Robert, with the easiest swing you'll ever see, got the barrel on the ball and hit his 5th home run of the season. His solo shot shocked everyone at Target Field, shocked us during the watch party, and suddenly the game's tied 3-3. The White Sox, who were dead in the water, found new life. Duran took care of the White Sox in order after Robert's home run, so to counter, manager Pedro Grifol went to Reynaldo Lopez, despite Lopez getting a 4-out save the day before. Lopez answered the bell, pitching a scoreless 9th inning with 2 strikeouts, including throwing some 101-mile-per-hour darts himself. What brought the game into extras was a fantastic relay by the White Sox. Twins catcher Christian Vasquez hit a liner in the right center gap. Luis Robert tried to make the heroic dive, but fell short, and now the ball's rolling to the wall. Oscar Colas maneuvers around Robert, picks up the ball at the wall, and makes a good throw to Romy Gonzalez as the cutoff. Vasquez tried stretching a for sure double into a triple, but Romy Gonzalez made a good throw to third base with Hanser Alberto, a late defensive substitution for Jake Berger, able to field that throw, apply the tag just in time. A perfect outfield relay by the White Sox. Didn't see that last year. Now it's tied going into the 10th inning, and extra inning shenanigans took place for the White Sox. Despite a new manager and hitting coaches, it was the same result for the White Sox offensively. Lenin Sosa pinch ran for Yasmani Grandal, and he advanced at third base off of Alberto's ground out up the middle. Colas hit the ball in the air, but not deep enough to left field for Sosa to tag up and score. Then Romy Gonzalez had a weak comebacker to Twins pitcher Griffin Jacks, ending the White Sox half of the 10th inning scoreless. In the bottom half, and it's hard for me not to laugh at this, but Michael A. Taylor laid down a good bunt that Hanser Alberto fielded, and his throw to first base hit Taylor in the head. The ball ricocheted off the helmet, and the game-winning run scores. What a way to lose a game. The White Sox fell 4-3, the same score they won the first game of the series by, and their record drops to 5-7. Today's a quick turnaround. First pitch is at 12:10 p.m. Central Time, as Lucas Giolito will take the mound. He's allowed 17 hits in his first 2 starts. That's a number to pay attention to while he's just walked 1 batter. Hopefully, he can have a 3rd productive start of the season to put the White Sox in a position to win. It won't be easy. Pitching for the Twins will be Sonny Gray. The bad news, Gray has been just as good as Lopez to start the season, as he's allowed just 1 run in 2 starts. The good news, The White Sox do have a good track record of success against Gray, including last year when Luis Robert hit a big grand slam to power a White Sox victory. You can watch the game on NBC Sports Chicago or listen on ESPN 1000 AM. Down on the farm, the Charlotte Knights dropped to 5-5 on the season as they lost to the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp 9-5. Zach Remillard had a big night at the plate as he went 3 for 5, hitting 2 home runs and driving in 4 RBIs. Carlos Perez hit his first home run of the season as he went 1 for 4. It was a bullpen game for the Knights, who still don't have enough starting pitchers to go around, and with the exception of Franklin German, each reliever allowed 3 hits and at least 2 runs as the Knights pitching walked 10 batters while striking out 7. Birmingham had their home opener and the offensive pitching fell short. The only thing notable in their 9-2 loss is that the Barons pitching combined to go 8 hits allowed, 9 earned runs, 9 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Just an odd final line between 5 pitchers. Winston-Salem is on the board with their first win of the season, beating Brooklyn 5-3. White Sox 2022 third-round pick out of the University of Georgia, Jonathan Cannon, made his first start for the Dash as he threw 76 pitches on his way of going 5 innings, 3 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts, allowing 1 home run. Offensively, Lydell Chappelli hit his first home run in 2023, a 2-run shot, on his way going 2 for 4. DJ Gladney went 1 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs. Kannapolis scored 2 runs in the third inning to take a 2-0 lead over Delmarva, but the Cannonballers' offense dried up after that frame as they lose 7-2. Tim Elko went 1 for 4 with an RBI, and Jordan Sprinkle was 2 for 5. The Cannonballers' starting pitcher, Connor McCullough, went 3 2/3 innings, but did strike out 7. Around Major League Baseball, and man, there were some wild games last night. First, let's start with Tampa Bay's historic run. Thanks to 4 more home runs, the Rays improved to 11-0 as they beat the Boston Red Sox 7-2. During this winning streak, the Rays have scored 83 runs and have only allowed 20. I don't know which is more impressive, the offense or the pitching. By the way, the White Sox play the Rays 7 times this month. Something to look forward to. History was made in Philadelphia while the Twins were enjoying their end of the Luis Arraez for Pablo Lopez trade. Arraez became the first Marlin in franchise history to hit for the cycle. His historic performance led the Marlins to an 8-4 victory over the Phillies. The Toronto Blue Jays scored 5 runs in the 8th inning to pull away from Detroit, winning 9-3. San Diego outlasted the New York Mets 4-2. The Atlanta Braves held off Cincinnati 7-6 as the Braves improved to 8-4 on the season. Baltimore was down 7-3 to Oakland in the 5th inning, but came roaring back thanks to Ryan Mountcastle's grand slam as they punished the A's 12-8. And the craziest game last night happened at Wrigley Field. The Seattle Mariners scored 7 runs in the first 2 innings and probably thought it was going to be an easy night. Except the Chicago Cubs scored 8 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Cubs ended up winning by a final score of 14-9. I don't know what's more shocking. The Cubs are 6-4 or the Mariners are 4-8. Finally, remember that impressive split in Houston? Well, the Astros got walked off in Pittsburgh, losing 7-4. The Astros are just like the White Sox at 5-7 to start the season. That will do it for this White Sox wake-up call. You can follow us on Twitter. We're at Sox Machine. You can follow me on Twitter at SoxMachine_Josh. Subscribe to the Sox Machine podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, such as Spotify and Apple Music. We also upload podcast episodes into our YouTube channel, which please subscribe to at youtube.com/SoxMachine. If you enjoy our work and want more, subscribe to our Patreon to receive exclusive content, ad-free versions of the podcast and the website, and monthly plans start at just $2 a month, or you can save with an annual subscription. Again, sign up at patreon.com/SoxMachine. The White Sox Wake Up Call is a production of SoxMachine.com, your home for all things Chicago White Sox baseball. I'm Josh Nelson. Thanks for listening.